Hi, I'm a sick Tony, this is Slack, welcome to Smog Vlog. Today we're going to be reviewing the iStick Pico 75W.
Pico 2? Alright, so welcome back. As we said, we're reviewing the Eleaf iStick Pico. This tiny little mod, I mean, it may be tiny, but it's absolutely feature rammed, you know. This is going to suit beginners through to more sort of experienced users with all those features that are packed inside it. Right, okay, with the review, we're going to start with the mod first, then we're going to take a look at the tank, and then we're going to look at the things that tie the tank and mod together, the kit as a whole. And finally, we're going to finish with pros and cons. Now, as always, if there are bits you're not interested in this, we stick the time code in the notes below so you can just skip a section.
But before we do any of that, let's dive down now for an unboxing.
Right, let's unbox the iStick Pico from Eleaf. Quick tour round the outside. So yeah, picture of your device here, it looks really cute and diddy and lovely. Upgradable firmware, another win for Eleaf. Pico, not so sure on that. Preferable, innovative, compact, outstanding. Yes, unlike that sentence. Yeah, there's our Eleaf. Come around the back, it's the standard affair with the scratch and sniff, the kit contents, and yeah, a brief description of what it does, which is pretty cool. Variable wattage, bypass mode, temp control nickel, temp control titanium, temp control stainless steel, adjustable TCR. I mean, this is winning right here. Full on winning. Come around the back, we have our colour choices, black, white, hot pink, which I went for, silver and grey. Hot pink should be awesome. And boom, there we are. Hot pink. They are not lying with the hot pink. This is freaking tiny. They're in my giant hand. Is your Pico, Pico, Pico. Let's get into the good stuff in a bit. I'm just getting carried away. It's the hot pink. It does that to me. It does something to me. Anyway, let's look inside the box. We've got some, more hot pink inside and some clear if you're not feeling so brave. Also one fairly standard USB cable there, alright quality. One user manual for the Melo 3. That's a book! Jesus Christ, this better be multi-language. Breakdown of the device, we'll have a look at that, how to fill, we won't need that. Oh thank God, multi-language, only a couple of pages, good. Sack that off. iStick Pico user manual, again really big. Yep, seems pretty decent, off to many other languages. We've got the standard 0.5 ohm iJust2 coil in the box, and that's it. Time for the good stuff. I guess start with this awesome hot pink tank. So up top we have top fill. Nice massive fat clear grommet there. So nice big thick chimney going down, another O-ring there. Nice big threads on that. Nice, the glass feels nice, feels solid and good. Let's come down the other end, take our coil out, have a look inside. So it comes with the 0.3, which is my favourite iJust coil, which, you know, this is the same coil. Silvery 510 connector, centre pin thing down the bottom there. Flat, protrudes slightly, it's just the standard iJust sort of affair down here, you know, Eleaf haven't varied far from tradition. Easy for me to say. This has come nice and clean.
Right, cheers for that unboxing, Slack. Awesome as always, or was it? Let us know in the comments down below. But for now, let's move on to power range, tech specs, features and protection.
So this is a single 18650 75W mod. It can run in wattage mode and it can do temperature control on nickel, titanium and stainless steel. It has 3 memory modes for adjustable TCR and it can even do bypass, so mech mod mode. It has upgradable firmware and some of the protections are long puff protection, low atomizer resistance protection, atomizer short circuit and no atomizer protection, low voltage protection. When your battery gets too flat it's not going to fire and fuck things up for you, and also there's a temperature cutout for the actual mod itself if that starts to overheat.
Okay, tech specs done, moving on now to button presses.
Pico. Right, let's touch this sucker up. So, button pushes. Obviously you have your go button and your plus and minus buttons. Now, experience tells me that this is going to be an absolute dick to do on screen. Don't get me wrong, it's perfectly fine to do IRL, but you know, on camera this is just freaking impossible with you trying to show which buttons you're pressing and holding it. So, forgive me if this is a bit shite. Anyway, without further ado, it's pretty much the standard affair. 5 clicks on, 5 clicks off. Boom, we're in. Okay, first mode, which we're already in, is wattage mode, where you just obviously use the plus and minus buttons to adjust your wattage in 0.1 watt increments. That's pretty cool. Next up, 3 clicks and you can change your mode. So let's cycle through the correct way. Bypass mode. That does what it says on the tin. It sticks it into mech mod mode, dumping the voltage of the battery onto your ATI. Temperature nickel. Temperature titanium, temperature stainless steel, memory 1, memory 2, memory 3. These are for TCR. I'll explain this in a minute. But yeah, let's just like use nickel for an example, and then within here you can simply adjust your temperature. So while in temp control, to adjust your wattage as well, 4 clicks and we get our wattage pop up, and let's just turn it down a little bit. There we go, 66.6 watts. You press go or leave it 10 seconds, but there you go. We're now vaping at 440 Fahrenheit and 666. So adjusting the temperature, let's look at the round robin. Goes all the way up to 600. Press up again, you're down to the bottom of the 100 centigrade, which, yeah, it's not world ending, but it's not my favourite round robin. So next up, let's look at that TCR adjustment, because while you do have nickel, titanium and stainless built into it, maybe you're going to be running some funky wire, or your wire doesn't come out as expected. So let's turn the device off. What we're going to do now is press the up and fire button at the same time for a few seconds, and boom, we're into memory 1, and there's your TCR. So cycle through your memory modes. We'll adjust memory 1 and then simply select what you go. Now this apparently goes from 1 to 1000, which is quite a good range. Yep, though I'm bored of going through here, so look, we've set our TCR. You can leave it a few seconds and it'll OK, or you can press the go button and that's it, it's gone. So 5 clicks, we're back in. We were still in nickel mode, as it says NI there. Standard 3 clicks, let's cycle through to memory 1. Boom, we're in. So this will now be running at the 66.6 watts with the 666 temperature coefficient of resistance at 275 degrees C. So we're not done there, this thing's got another couple of tricks up its sleeve. So you can turn the device off. If you press down and go, you get your battery voltage. This one needs a charge. Turn the device back on, press down and go now. We go into stealth mode, so the screen's not going to display when we're vaping. So while you're in stealth mode, you can do 3 clicks to get into your menu and it works just like normal, and then just click to get out of it. That's absolutely fine. As the device is still in stealth, to actually turn stealth off it's the same, down and go, and stealth will turn itself off. And we are back in business. So another thing this little critter can do is resistance lock. You see you've got the picture of your ohms there. Plus and go. That'll change to a lock. It's just locked your resistance if you have wavering resistance. And the last one will be press plus and minus together for a few seconds and you go lock your device. Now that's just going to lock out these buttons plus and minus to stop your adjustments. You will still be able to vape. Right, that's the buttons pressed, so back to the studio.
One thing I did struggle to see in the unboxing was the plus and minus for the battery terminals. They are there in proper lighting that isn't really bright studio lighting, creating really dark shadows. They're easy enough to see, so yeah, just a little correction to what was there. When I unbox stuff, I do it, I mean it's brand new, I've not ever seen it before, you know, not had a hands on necessarily. We are unboxing it live as you would be, so you get the real experience. Next up, button quality. Yeah, okay, so the buttons are good. I mean, it's a good place to start. The only downside I find with the buttons is that's the go button when you rattle your finger over it. However,
if you've not got your finger on it, it doesn't rattle. There's no like loose rattle. It's a partial press will make it rattle. Now, in reality, that's not a problem because you're either going to have your finger on it properly or you're not. You're not going to do that unless you're me and you like to fiddle. So, you know, it's perfectly fine. Another thing I'm really loving about this button is the way it wraps round. It's not just a square button. It's there, you know, it wraps round with you. That makes it easy to press when you're holding it in your hand. When you're holding it like this, you press it with the inside of your finger and it works. So while talking about the buttons, you can't obviously avoid the fact that these plus and minus buttons are on the bottom. I thought, why the hell would you put them on the bottom? That seems really weird. Okay, it's a small mod, but you could make room for it. Actually, on using it, I think it's a really good placement for it. It leaves the rest of the mod free, so the only thing on there is the go button. So you hold it in your hand, nice tight grip, you're not accidentally pressing the buttons, they're easy enough to use, and yeah, good quality. It works nicely.
Next up, menu operation. As you saw in the video, it's a standard 3-click menu, nice and easy, nothing more to say. Next up for you guys, firmware update.
Yeah, so it's really great that this tiny little device, you know, comes with updatable firmware. It's really good. It's something fairly new to Eleaf, and I like the fact that they're continuing in this tradition. However, firmware is not yet available for this. You just need to keep looking on the Eleaf World website. You go down to where the picture of the laptop with the mod plugged in is. Eventually, a download is going to appear under there, and you will have updatable firmware. You just go plug a USB cable in, follow the instructions. When it comes out, we'll probably upload a quick video for you on how to do it, but always just follow the instructions that are provided in case they change.
Next up for you guys is temperature control, and yes, it does all three like we've already said, and also has TCR. Over to this guy.
Yeah, I am the temp control monkey. So yeah, out of the box settings, I'm not overly impressed with them. They are not the best out there. You can make it work, and it does work. You know, you get your temp protection. I've just used better devices. I've used better Eleaf devices, so I am confident this is going to be improved with the next firmware update. However, there is adjustable TCR, so even if out the box settings aren't how you like them, you will be able to change them, and everyone's temp control tastes are completely different. You know, some people like a hot vape, some people like a cold vape. Temp control works, you know, you can make it what you want with that adjustable TCR, so I am happy with temp control on this. Another thing to mention is that you guys don't want to forget that you can adjust the wattage that you're going to vape at in temp control. You don't need to always go for full wattage in it, which is the default. You can turn it down a bit, and that will get you a better temp control experience. So just remember to check back to the button presses if you need to see how to do that.
Next up for you guys is battery life, and as you'd expect for a single 18650, it works exactly as it should and lasts probably about the same, so there's nothing spectacular about it. Yeah, power efficiency seems to be on par with everything else that we've tested. What is interesting to note is that although you can charge the device via the included USB, in the manual and everything, all the other documentation and Eleaf themselves state to use an external battery charger for it in the interests of saving time.
Yeah, so I was wondering if that really is battery safety rather than in the interest of time. However, if you're going to do it, just get a 1 amp plug and plug it in. Don't be getting your 3-4 amp plugs from your mega smartphone or tablet or whatever and plugging it in here. You need to look for a 1 amp plug to chuck that USB in with. Right, okay, let's talk about the battery cover. So it's always my bone of contention, but it's quite cool. It looks really cool. It's got this almost canister looking. You expect it's kind of a hip flask thing going on up the top. And yeah, it works really well. The battery sits in there nice and tight. Now that's on a standard wrap. At the moment I've got in there some standard eFests with the standard eFest wrap, and it fits in there just about. You know, if you had thick wraps on the batteries or double wraps, they would struggle if not go into this. But you know, it's fairly common with devices that the batteries fit nice and snug. You don't want them rattling about. The canister top itself does feel, and it seems a little bit tinny. However, once it's on the mod, it's nice and lightweight, and you know, it feels solid with the battery inside it, and you know, there really isn't a problem there. So as I said earlier, the plus and minus are fairly clearly labelled on the inside. If you look down into the mod, you see a nice orange plus. It's massive. I don't know how I missed it in the unboxing. However, it is there. Same as there's a little minus on the top. So
once you're familiar with it, it's not a problem anyway. And lastly, while we're in the neck of the woods of batteries, we're going to talk about the venting, which is pretty decent. It's just a ring of holes on the bottom here that are adequate, and
okay guys, it's tank time. We're moving across to the top section of this kit, and so we're now introducing you to the Melo 3 Mini. First up, coil options.
Yeah, so these are the standard EC coil heads, the same as the iJust 2 takes. They've been around for ages and they're really good coils. They're also available in lots and lots of different options. Now in the pack you get a 0.3 and a 0.5 Canthal coil. You're going to be using them on wattage mode only. You can also buy the nickel coils from Eleaf. You can also buy titanium coils from Eleaf for doing temp control. Also, this standard coil size is usable with a bunch of other coils, Aspire stuff. There's plenty of other. Most importantly, the Represso target is the same size as this, so you'll be able to run one of them in there, and then you'll get some ceramic taste goodness.
And lastly for the coils, no RBAs. No RBAs. Next up, airflow.
Yeah, so it's got decent airflow. It's nice sort of range of option, and this hidden sort of airflow bit is really unique. I really like that. Nice and even all the way around. Looks good. It's a little bit of a bitch to manipulate when it's on the mod. Sometimes you want to unscrew the mod, other times you kind of need two and a half hands to do it. You've got to hold it like that. However, once you've got it set, it's doable, and once you've got it set, you're not going to be changing it about too often, so it's absolutely not a problem. I quite like what they've done with it.
Moving on now to tank capacity, 2 mil, so TPD ready.
Yeah, it's nice and easy to fill though, and the juice sort of lasts all right, and because it's easy to fill, it's absolutely not a problem that it's a small tank. So talking about ease of filling, it's nice and easy. You just whack the top off. You've got these two massive holes that you just blob some juice in. The only trick is, because there's this oh dear, because there's two holes in the same circular channel, you just need to be careful not to sort of cover them both with juice, or else you get an airlock. And you don't want to get an airlock in there, because you don't want it queefing out afterwards. But that's standard operating procedure with any tank. Don't block the air holes completely when you fill it, so the juice goes in nice and easy. It takes a couple of seconds, a couple of squeezes of juice, and job is a good one.
Next up, spits and swallows. Or leaks and spits. Either. But either way, none at all. Not with this tank.
Yeah, it's got the 0.3 ohm coil in at the moment, and it just works so well. It's something we've been using for years, and it just doesn't spit in this. Right, let's talk about the drip tip for you. Now it's a plasticky Delrin-y sort of inside with a nice metal wrap around the outside. To be honest, I don't usually like that style of drip tip. However, here it's completely inoffensive and I have absolutely no problems with it. It works well, it handles the heat well. And when it's in place, you can't tell that it's actually a plastic wrapped one. Also, it's a standard 510 size for a drip tip, so you can just swap it out for something else if you so choose.
Okay guys, moving on now to the kit as a whole. First up, the heat test.
Yeah, so usually this is me and Tony passing it, but I don't want to die. He's got early version of Zombie Apocalypse brewing, so let's go.
So it's all on Slack.
I was whacking the wattage up. So we'll go for 48.6 because that's where it stopped.
Yeah. Good vapour reduction. That's about all I'm qualified to say at this point, because I can't smell anything, and obviously I'm not vaping, so I can't taste shit either.
One player heat test is less fun.
I'm sorry. Last one for luck.
Right, okay, let's talk about what just happened. I took a lot of vape. The heat, yeah, it's there. The tank is fairly cool. I have had the tank on a hot day running at hot wattage, because this goes up to 75 watts, running at above 50 watts. I have managed to get the tank a little bit hot. However, this is just warm after all that. The drip tip at the end of each hit was starting to get a bit warm. It's not really too hot, I didn't have to move my lips away from it, so it handled it okay. The mod itself is the same temperature as when I started, so that heat hasn't travelled down into the mod, which is...
And so how was the flavour?
Yeah, so this 0.3 ohm coil that comes with it is one of our old-time favourites. You know, we've been using it for ages, and it does have really good flavour. Don't get me wrong, there are definitely tanks out there that are going to have better flavour for you. Certainly some of the ceramic stuff and things like the Crown and the Raphael. However, this has really good flavour. You know, certainly if this is the first time you would be using this and you're coming up from anything else that isn't like a Crown or a ceramic coil already, this is probably going to be a big flavour increase for you. And not only that, you do get a ton of coil options, so you can just play about with it to get it exactly how you want. You can even go for those Vapresso ceramic coils.
Next up, portability, size and weight.
Yeah, so I mean, it fits in the hand, so nice. It's nice and small. It does have a little bit of weight to it, but not too much. It's not heavy, and yeah, just it feels good carrying it about. Another thing that makes this good for portability, you know, when you think you're going out and about for a day, is you take a standard 18650, so you get the right one in there. You get 3,500 maybe milliamp hour battery in here, you know, and that is going to last really well. Not only that, you could just carry a spare one. Just make sure you carry it in a proper case, you know, make sure it's safe. Don't have it rattling about in your pocket or your bag. So with the battery in here fully charged and a spare that's charged, you're easily going to get a day's vaping out of this, which is great.
It's a cheeky little pocket rocket that you can whop out at a moment's notice. Sturdiness.
Yeah, so like I said, this lid feels a little bit plasticky when it's out. The drip tip, it's one of them plastic ones sort of covered. However, put it all together and you have a really solid unit. I mean, it's just well made and it holds together really well. It is nice and sturdy, despite what you may think when you're just handling it for the first time. So yeah, sturdy. So quickly we'll talk about the 510 connectors. So the mod itself has a goldy plated, you know, 510 sprung loaded connection inside and really nice threads. The tank itself has a slightly protruding silver 510 plate there with nice threads around it, and it screws together really easy. There's absolutely no problem there. The only thing I will mention is, you know, we're talking about screwing. There's only really enough for a 22, maybe 23mm tank on here, so you need to watch what you're putting on there, otherwise you will start cross-threading your screws as it pushes off this battery cover. Something like the Crown, for instance, which is what is 22mm tank, however it's got that thick airflow control ring around the top, that won't sit on here. But the tank it comes with fits perfectly, looks good.
Next up, styling of the tank and the mod.
Yeah, I think they look really good together. I mean, first off, you've got this colour match thing going on. I like that. It's a really nice touch. White, you know, grommets, they just look crap. And yeah, they've done really well with that. Not only that, I really like this sort of flask-esque, you know, battery cover. It looks really cool. I think the styling of it is really well done. You may not like hot pink, I personally do, and if not, don't worry, there is a ton of other colour options. You've got white, you've got silver, you've got grey, which is kind of silvery, you've got black, and yeah, the wonderful hot pink. But then they've also introduced a couple of other ones. You've got full black, which even has black bit up here, so it's awesome. It looks really cool. And lastly, you've got brushed silver, which is brushed stainless, you know, for everyone else.
Warranty!
Yeah, there's no warranty as such. You are covered by a standard legal warranty, which is going to be your statutory 28 days, return it to manufacturer for factory defects. But as always, you break it, you bought it.
Okay, next up is your favourite and mine, pros and cons. As always, starting with the cons so that we're ending on the naughties. First up on the cons list is going to be this little battery cover. While it looks really cool, it does mean that you're limited on size of the Atty that you're going to fit on. It's designed for 22, you might be able to sneak a 23 on, 24 does not fit. Also, as I said earlier, stuff with sort of sticky out airflow control rings will not fit, just because of this. Next up, out of the box, TC settings are not amazing.
On the upside though, you do have that adjustable TCR, you adjust your wattage in it, and you know, you can make it how you like it. I just wasn't that impressed with it. Last up on the cons list is going to be the fact that it's only a 2mm tank. I mean, we're going to have to get used to that. It's the TPD, guys, you know. On the upside of it, it's easy to fill, you don't get through juice mega quickly, it's not the thirstiest of tanks in the world, so you can kind of forgive it.
I think the positive spin to put on that last one is the fact that this is designed to be a starter set, so 2mm is probably sitting about right.
Well, you say it's designed to be a starter set, which kind of on paper it is, but it's packed to the hilt with features, you know, which we're going to discuss in the pros. So, as we've said, first up on the pros list is going to be the fact that it's got adjustable TCR. That's something still fairly new to Eleaf, and it's great that they've got it. So you can make that temp control experience exactly how you like it.
Next up is bypass.
Yep, so, you know, mech mode, go. Next up is going to be the fact that there will be updatable firmware for it. It shows that Eleaf are going to be supporting this and, you know, hopefully tweaking some of them settings, maybe introducing new features. Who knows? Exciting times.
Next up is the simplicity to use.
Yeah, it's just so easy to use. You know, it does make for a beginner kit, you know, but not only that, it's going to last you a while because of all the features that are packed into it. Next up is the fact that it fits really well in the hand. Like I said, the plus and minus buttons on the bottom seemed a bit weird, but actually holding it in the hand it feels right.
Next up, we like what they've done with the styling, especially with the accent of the coloured silicone rings for the tank. Just sets off the base colour quite nicely.
Yeah, and talking of the colour options, another pro is going to be all of those colour options that are available. You know, sometimes you get a mod, it comes out in 1 or 2 colours. This has come out in quite a few. It'd be nice to see some blues and some reds and stuff as well, but there's plenty there.
And with those colour options come obviously the coil options. Or is that just a play on words? I don't know. But there's a lot of coil options available for it as well, which only works in its favour.
So that about brings us to the end of this review. It's a great little kit. It ticks all the boxes. This is going to be something that will be great for a beginner. However, it's got enough features to cater even for an experienced vapor.
Okay guys, that about sums it up from us for this review of the Eleaf Pico 75W. Pikachu, yes. We hope you enjoy what we're doing for you. Not necessarily me this episode, I apologise, I am sick. But, you know, he took over for the rest of it, which was cool. If we are doing what you enjoy, please drop us a like and do the whole subscribe thing and tell your pets, because it helps us out immensely. Also, please don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, because we are quite
chatty.
Also, please share us. That's the new thing, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Sharing is cool.
Sharing is caring. But for now, thanks very much for watching Smog Vlog. Tank capacity is 2 mil, so TPD ready.
Fucking hell.
There's no good wafting because it's all in your
I
arse.
know.
This is what happens. Or else you get an airlock. You don't want to get an airlock in there because you don't want it queefing out afterwards.
Dude, I'm gonna fucking pass out. Look at my face.
Do you want to introduce and say now we're going to talk about
And now with their parts combined.
slick as shit. Not only that, you could just carry a spare one. If you do, make sure you carry it safely in a proper, what are they called? Case. Dude, it's just been a long day.
No, it's just weird that you should say full black and brushed silver, but they don't have...
No, but they're new, they're separate.
Right,
Good.
starting with the cons so that we're ending on the naughties. First up.
Okay, first one is going to be where... Next up is the fact that it fits really well in the hand. Like I said, plus and minus buttons on the... Like I said, the plus and minus buttons on the bottom. So I better do the signing out thing.
Do you think you can?
Yeah, I'll try. we've got nearly 20 minutes to do it in under an hour. Right, guys, I'm signing out. We're off to a blinder. Okay, well, I'm going to be signing out the video now because of sick note, so bear with me on this. I'd like to thank you for watching. If you like what you're doing, please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you've got any questions, like what you're doing, this is why I don't sign out.
Try again.
And
not I would like to thank you. I would like to formally thank you, dear sir and madam. Oh, Jesus, you got the cold sweats. Let me do it. Okay, ready?